All right, so let's talk about a little bit about routing, and it's a subset of the idea of the model view controller, right? The normal way of working with navigation from one page to the next, right, is that basically you have lots of pages, right, and typically it would be unrestricted of where you can navigate from one page to the next, right? And the logic of navigating from this page, say from this page to this page, is encoded in that page. There's a hyperlink here, right? That says that if you click on that hyperlink, you navigate to that other page. Yes. So the logic of navigating from this page is entirely encoded in that page. Or if I click on another link, I would go to some other page. Yeah? Or if I click on another link, I navigate over there. And those three navigation logic, pieces of logic, are in that one page. Yes? And we can replicate this idea, for any page. If you're here, and there might be 3 or 4 more links in here, yes, that might navigate over there, or over there. Okay. So if you're here, you might have again links, perhaps going back, right? Maybe navigating over here, going back over there, going back over here. Okay. And this looks very much like go-tos, right? And we typically, discourage programmers to use go-tos, since they make it so much harder to maintain or debug code, right? And the fact that any one place in your infrastructure can just arbitrarily jump from one level of execution to some other place of execution, right, makes it much harder to try and identify errors. And spreading the concerns of navigation across so many different items, right? So many different artifacts, makes it much harder to tackle the design of this application. It looks very much like spaghetti code. Okay, everything's all tangled, and you don't really know what's going where. Right? There's no one point of place that you can maintain this, right? It's a maintenance nightmare. Okay, if you want to add something to this logic, and all of a sudden requirements say that, hey, no, before say there's several ways of coming to this page, right? Coming from here, coming from here, coming from here, right? And all of a sudden our new rules say that no, first you have to go through some other page before you go there. Well, you have to edit this page, you have to edit this page. Anywhere that leads into this page, right, you have to go and modify, right, the logic that feed into that one page. There's 3 points of maintenance here, right? It makes it hard to maintain this to going forward. So we have been moving away from this nightmare, and instead looking to do something more in this fashion, where instead of spreading the logic across so many artifacts, instead we have a centralized navigation controller, right? Where the pages themselves don't know where they go, right? It is not their responsibility, right? It's not their responsibility to know about the logic of the flow of the application. Their only responsibility is to look pretty, right? To just display content, lay it out as easy for users to consume. Yeah, it is not their responsibility for navigation. It's not their concern. Instead, what they do is that they all notify a centralized controller of what the user is doing. Right? They're clicking here, they're dragging, they're just reporting to a centralized controller of what is going on, what the user is doing. But it's not their responsibility to interpret the user's actions. Instead, a centralized controller with a centralized configuration file or files, right? Either written in XML or written in JSON, or some data, right, captures the logic of what should happen when these certain events happen, right? And here you might say that, you know, if you were in A and event 1 happened, then you will navigate to B, right? And you encode that logic in a central place, and there's one thing you need to maintain as opposed to being spread all over the place. Okay, and you could perhaps tie a user interface against on top of this, right? Maybe somebody can drag and drop what the flow of this should be, right? Maybe dragging some arrows here and there, right? That can control and edit this and maintain it. This now becomes so much easier to maintain. It's now one single place. Okay, and you know, many infrastructures have followed this design pattern, right? Certainly struts and J2EE has followed this. You know, .NET, you know, many different infrastructures follow this pattern, and Angular certainly, you know, follows as well this pattern. Okay, so now we're going to introduce routing. This is the umbrella term for this is routing, or configuring the routing of an application. Okay, so let's look at that now.